AITA for telling my husband I'm taking his family to court. My husband, M26, and I, F25, have been together for 8 years. Married for 2. We also have 2 beautiful kids, aged M6 and F3. We moved out on our own in 2023. In May of 2024, my husband's aunt, F40-something, and 3 cousins were in a hard spot. They were kicked out of his grandmother's house and moved in with her ex, the father of her kids. Something's happened there to where they were yet again, kicked out. She had called us crying because she didn't have anywhere to go and didn't know what to do. My husband and I decided to have them move in with us. We live 4 hours away from where they were currently. They moved out here with us, and we had changed around our entire normal for them to feel comfortable. We live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Our children had their own rooms, but we had them share a room so his aunt and girl cousin could use that room. His other 2 cousins were going to sleep in the garage, but we decided it was way too hot out here for them to be in there. So we moved them into the living room. Everything was fine at first. It's always fine at first, right? My husband and I decided we were all going to split the bills in half. There were 4 of them and 4 of us. Our rent was $1,700. Our electric was a solid $160 every month before they arrived. Our gas was $50, $60. And our water was $60, $70. They agreed to pay half of everything. Once it came time to pay our bills, my husband would ask his family for their portion of the bills. They would try to negotiate what they would pay instead of trying to pay their half. We ended up just footing what they didn't give us. A month after they moved in, we started seeing drastic changes in our bills. Our electric bill was $348, our water was $100, and our gas was $70, $80. My husband and I were baffled by these amounts, but just thought it was because there were more people living here. They were never paying their full half of the bills or rent. It got increasingly frustrating because his aunt was going out every single day to spend large amounts of money on anything but actual groceries or necessities. It started to become so bad that I would buy groceries for my kids and tell them to not touch those groceries because they were for my kids only. No one listened, and within a day, all of their groceries were gone. They didn't care about anything I would say. They were very disrespectful to me. They would treat my husband like royalty and me like complete shit. I would have conversations with my husband about this behavior, and he would talk to them about it too, and they wouldn't change. At one point, his aunt had texted me calling me a fucking R-word. But the moment my husband said something, she switched it up and said she meant to say her son was. The last month they were here, my daughter ended up in the hospital to have a life-saving surgery, and we were not home for 8 days. The day we returned home with our daughter from the hospital, they were acting completely different and didn't say anything to us. The next morning, we woke up to take our son to school, and they had a U-Haul outside and were packing up their things. They were trying to leave before we got up. They left and have been telling lies about us. It's come to the point that my electric bill for that last month they were here is $695. They have no intention of giving us their half of that bill. So much so that the moment my husband contacted them asking for their half, they blocked us on everything. I told my husband if they don't give us their portion of the bills, I will take them to small claims court. So all of this to say, AITA for telling my husband I am going to take his family to court? Update 1. I would first like to mention the ages of the aunt's children. From oldest to youngest is as follows: M25, M20, and F17. She also has another son who did not come to live with us because he was not living with them. There were a ton of comments saying, "Now you know why they were kicked out of 2 places, and I thought I should give you the backstory to those 2 houses." My husband has never had a relationship with his grandmother. From what I've gotten from conversations with my MIL about her mother, is that she is a very nasty woman who is very selfish and wants nothing to do with anything unless it benefits herself. The aunt was living in the grandmother's hosu for quite a few years. I believe it was about 10 years. The grandmother decided she wanted to move back into that house, and so the fight began between them. The grandmother ended up threatening a visiton, and that's what caused the aunt to move into her ex's house. It really is the ex's mother's hosu. My husband and I have met this family a couple times, and each time they were very rude and nasty. The aunt would tell us that the ex's mother would call them names all day, make them do everything around the house, and would never let them cook in the kitchen. One day, there was an argument that ensued between the ex's sister and the aunt's daughter. Words were exchanged, and the mother and sister told them to leave because they didn't like that they were arguing back with them. This made his aunt call us crying and giving us the sob story. At the time, we felt very sympathetic towards them. Thankfully, our house has cameras on the inside and out that record 24/7. We have video proof of everything they did or said in and around the house. We have the video proof of her clearly agreeing to the agreement of paying half of all bills, as well as having this agreement being agreed to by her through text messages. No, we never got it in writing, and I will regret that forever. We have gone through all of the footage from when we were in the hospital with our daughter. They never had anyone come to the house, nor did they ever go into my husband and I's room. We never gave them a key to the house nor the mailbox. They never asked for one either. There was always someone at the house, so they said they didn't need one. All of our most important documents, birth certificates and socials, were with me at the hospital. When I don't have them, they are in the safe in our closet that only my husband and I know the code to. I do have footage of the daughter throwing some of my perfectly good dishes away and the mess they left in my living room when they were leaving, as well as all the foul things they would say about us and our kids. They had more than enough income to pay for their half of the bills without trying to negotiate what they could pay. The aunt's M25 son has a disability and gets a nice disability check every month that the aunt would take and spend on whatever she wanted. The M20 son was working with my husband. My husband helped him get a job at the same company. Every week his checks would be deposited into his account, and the aunt would take his entire check. Lastly, the aunt would continuously ask her boyfriend to send her money almost every single day. Yes, she has had this boyfriend the entire time. He lived with her while she was living at her mother's house, but did not live with her when she went to live with the ex. He would send her hundreds at a time, and she would lie to him about what she was using it for. For example, she would tell him they needed to get groceries, and instead would go spend it at the Dollar Tree. Thanks to all of you that commented about payment arrangements with the electric company, we are about to see that bill in the past. After some time on the phone with the electric company, we found that when we were in the hospital with our daughter, they had turned our AC to 60 and had it running all day and night. Upon viewing footage in the house, they also had every single light on all day and night as well. While we were in the hospital with our daughter, my husband and I mutually agreed that when we got home, we were going to kick them out because of all the things they had been doing to me, the kids, and never paying their full share of their half of bills. I believe the aunt knew it was coming and was trying to leave before we got home. We did not share with them when we knew exactly when we would be coming home. Come to find out, the aunt was calling her boyfriend and the other son, who didn't live with them, days before we got home and telling them the most absurd story so they would rush out here and help them pack everything up and leave. Unfortunately for them, we were home by the time they were trying to sneak out. Them coming to live with us was in no way a permanent situation. If we were to take them to court, it would not just be for the $700 electric bill. It would be for every single bill they did not pay or did not pay their full amount. They owe us a couple $1,000s alone with the bills. I do not care if we receive the money they were supposed to give us. I want there to be a legal document stating they were at fault. I want them to be told that what they did is not okay. If we were to receive any money from them, it would just be a bonus. They took advantage of our home and our kindness, and that is just not sitting right within my heart. My husband is fully on board with suing them. He has never given me any pushback about mentioning this or wanting to go through with it.